Not a whole lot to say, really. It was disappointing. It was a disappointing performance. We just didn't do enough to really threaten. We just weren't threatening enough, and I felt like, especially in the first half, we had moments where we could have probably been more positive, but just overall, it wasn't. In the attacking part of the field, we just weren't dynamic enough, and we didn't do enough to really threaten. Credit to them. They played hard, they defended hard, they found opportunities and took their chances. But really disappointing night for us.
Robin, obviously a tough week with injuries with Alex and Keegan with hamstring injuries. But to lose Jack in the manner that you did, I guess, does it feel abnormally high to you to have this many injuries at the start of the year, or is it just kind of, the fact that you guys play soccer in March in Colorado?
We got through most of preseason feeling pretty good. Johnny's been in and out basically all of preseason. But we got through most of it feeling like we were in pretty good shape, and then over the last 3 or 4 weeks, just more injuries keep popping up, and it's obviously disappointing and disruptive when we have to change players, and like tonight, guys are playing out of position. It's no excuse. It is what it is. I think your question was, is it shocking to have this many injuries right now? Where I was going with that is we were in really good shape for a while, and then all of a sudden these things have popped up in the last couple of weeks, and it's shocking. It also feels like this is the way this season is going so far.
Robin, any update on Bryce?
On Jack?
Yes.
I don't think we have official imaging yet, so I'm not really going to say anything yet. If I'm not sure and it's not definitive, I'm not going to say anything yet, but certainly doesn't appear to be good.
Cole talked about the team needing to be more ruthless in their attacking opportunities. Can you put to words what that means to you, like how would you envision a team being more ruthless?
That's a great question, because it's certainly something we've talked about recently and something we talked about tonight. And it's in the moments where we have the ability to either combine and get behind teams, or explode through a space, or beat a player, put the defenders on their heels. We haven't taken those opportunities well enough. So to be fair, Cole's goal was a very good example of that. That he gets into a spot where it's a half chance, but through an aggressive move, it becomes a real chance. And I feel like too many times we get into those situations and we're not turning the half chances into real chances often enough. So really, to Cole's credit, and that's what I said to him afterwards, I go, way to be aggressive after he scored the goal, because we've gotten into those situations this year and maybe not really had the whatever it takes in that moment to find a way to get a shot off, find a way to create some room for yourself, a hesitation, a fake and an explosion to buy a little bit of room. And I think that we have not – we've been missing that. And when Cole scored the goal tonight, it was really gratifying, because it's an aggressive move. An aggressive move led to a goal. And we need to have more aggressive moves around the box, in and around the box, and in areas where we can be dangerous.
4 games now that Yappy has led the line up front, and now he's recently been called up to the youth national team. You feel like he's feeling some of this pressure?
Pressure of what? Needing to score?
Sure.
I don't think he's feeling pressure. I think he's a young kid who's getting an opportunity and relishing playing and doing quite well. He will score. He will score goals. The kid's a good player, and he's a good athlete. He's got a good head on his shoulders. I think we are all seeing the very, very beginning of Darren Yappy, and hopefully there'll be one day when we go, oh my God, I knew that kid when he was just a kid. But he's definitely he's on the rise. He's playing confidently. He was I thought at some points tonight he was a very bright spot for us, and it's unfortunate for him that he's working hard, playing well, hasn't quite gotten opportunities, and when we don't win, then some of that gets overshadowed. But he's doing quite well.
You know, in the same breath, Diego also got a call up to the Chilean national team, and the hard work that comes from, I guess, recovering from a surgery, no matter how serious or minor it is. How good was it to see him get game time tonight, and knowing that he's still earned a chance to play with Chile?
Yeah, I'm really happy for Diego. When I first came here, he was in the Chilean team, and over the last couple of years, he's been out. But having the season he had last year, he got himself back involved, and it's a really big statement that he hasn't played, he's been hurt, he's coming off surgery, he still gets called in. So, yeah, I'm really, really happy for him. Diego he was playing incredibly well before he got hurt. And I think tonight when you see some of the turnovers, he just hasn't played in 4 weeks. And he's only going to get better. We know that. So we're certainly excited about him coming back and him being ready.
Robin, Cole's first goal since 2021 here. Aside from just the intensity that you mentioned and making those half chances into real chances, what can you say just about his ability to be a playmaker up top and really work towards finding opportunities for himself and everybody else up there?
Yeah, I think Cole's strengths are not necessarily as a playmaker. Cole's strengths are he's a really good finisher, and with relentless running, he creates opportunities for himself. His relentless running creates pressure, which creates opportunities for other guys. But if he can consistently turn his chances into shots like he did tonight, then it's just going to be another way for Cole to score goals. I mean, to this point, Cole has been really good with his running, and his running gets him into opportunities to score goals, and he has for us. But if he can now be in tight spaces and be able to wiggle and find enough room to get shots off and score, that's another big add to his arsenal of attributes, I think. So really positive goal that he's able to find himself some space and get a good shot off. Like I said, if that's the next thing that he adds to his game, then that's only going to make him better.
I'd like to know your thoughts on the performance on Anthony Markinich getting some minutes today.
Yeah, Anthony had some good moments. He had some moments where a little bit of lack of understanding in terms of the positioning and what's being asked at certain points, but overall, I thought he had some good moments. Anthony is as good as anyone in the air. His jumping ability, his heading ability is really special, and that's certainly when I think about Anthony doing well, there's usually a header or two involved, and so he had some moments like that. He's a really good passer. There are a lot of things that his skill set is really good. And as a young player, he just needs to work on consistency. That's the biggest thing with him, is just to be consistent.
On both goals, for Minnesota, obviously set pieces were the factor there. I guess, in Cole said you guys were working on them and will continue to do so. I guess what's your kind of takeaway from, I guess, the second half of that side of the ball and defending?
Set pieces?
Right.
In particular, you're asking, what did I think of giving up 2 set-piece goals? The first one was really weird. Like, Max runs the ball back and then slips, and now this guy's got a free waltz into the box. I didn't see it. I have no idea if it's a legitimate handball call or not, but it is what it is, and it is where we are. But it was weird because Max had done a good job to win the ball back, and to give up a chance like that was obviously disappointing. And then the free kick comes off what I don't think should be an opportunity where they're running at us the way they are. And I think if our setup is better, our shape is better behind the ball, when we lose it, we don't end up in that situation. So just the fact that we gave up a free kick there is disappointing, because we've talked about giving up too many of these jailbreaks. So if you need to take a foul, take a foul. You take a foul, and the free kick goes in anyway. So definitely things that we can do ahead of that so that we don't get to that point. I was standing right behind the free kick, and I thought to myself, not really sure how dangerous this should be, dead in the middle. And he probably hit the ball the only place where they could score. And the flick was obviously very, very good. But in the end, disappointing. Disappointing to give up the two set pieces that we did. Disappointing the way they came about. And then obviously you're not going to defend a penalty any better, but certainly we would like to have been able to do better on the free kick.
Robin, on the other side, attacking set pieces, you've gotten some opportunities. I know a lot of that's been with Connor Ronan taking set pieces and not Jack, but I think Danny hit the post. Andreas has had a couple looks as well. Are you happy with the chance creation? Are you disappointed with the execution?
I know. If we go 4 games without scoring a set piece goal, then I'm yelling at Sharpie. We've been so proficient with that since I've been here that we certainly look at that as a weapon of ours. And every year the pundits say, well, they can't keep it up, and we do. So I would certainly think it's only a matter of time before we get really dangerous on those again. Like you said, hitting the post, getting a couple of good looks. We're close in a lot of areas, but in a way that's us right now, meaning we have really good moments and then we have bad moments. And right now our bad moments are overcoming our good moments. So it's really, again, I've used the word consistency. I think I've used the word consistency in every one of these press conferences, is that we're trying to get to a point where we are consistently having good moments, and good moments on top of good moments on top of good moments, instead of good moment, bad moment, good moment, bad moment. And that level of consistency is something that we need and we need to get to.
Since the Seattle game in the opening match of the season, so the team hasn't allowed a goal in the first half of the 3 games since. Aside from the 2 set piece goals tonight, how do you feel that the defense is progressing, or what do you feel like you're doing right to keep this momentum going?
After giving up the goals in Seattle the way we did, we've certainly addressed a lot of the mistakes that were made in Seattle, and we seem to be doing better. So yes, I'm happy that we aren't giving up early goals, because early goals change games for sure. I don't know if we've ever given up a lead and lost. We did against Austin last year. Generally, when we score here, we put ourselves on the front foot and we do quite well. So I'm pretty happy with the fact that obviously after that first avalanche of goals we gave up in the first game, that we haven't done that since. But a big part of how well we defend is linked to how well we attack. And the better we attack, then the less defensive actions we have to deal with and have to make. And again, it's this consistency level where we have good moments within games where our attacks are good and we can put the team on their heels and create some half chances or create some chances. But by the same token, if we turn the ball over in the middle of the field as we're all opening up and expose ourselves, then it becomes difficult. So I feel like we've definitely paid a lot of attention to how we gave up goals early, how we've been giving up chances. And you look through tonight, for the most part, we didn't give up chances early on. And if our play is better with the ball, maybe we get something on the other end, score earlier, and the game is somewhat different. So it's all connected. So yes, I'm happy that we've addressed and we aren't giving up the types of goals we gave up against Seattle. But when you're still giving up goals and losing games, that's very small consolation.
I guess before tonight's loss, one of your losses at home in the last 2 years, 2 of those are Austin, and we're ahead of both of those.
We're ahead in both? We're ahead in 21 too?
We're
Coach, a handful of guys have now stepped up playing in that left back, left wing back position here. As a former defender yourself, just keeping it vague, what exactly are you looking for from that area, that position on the field?
Consistency. You said keep it vague.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. I mean, consistency, and we're actually looking for consistency all over the field. And we have, obviously, a number of players in a number of different positions. We have a ton of guys fighting for midfield spots right now, a bunch of guys fighting for spots in the attacking group. And with the injuries we had, we thought we were pretty well, pretty deep in our defenders. And a couple of injuries later, we're pretty thin. So, this provides opportunities. Injuries provide opportunities, and guys, they have an opportunity to grab a hold of a position. And obviously we're talking about the left back right now, but it's any of the positions, really. We're waiting for people to really grab it and say it's mine. And that's one of the things we talked about tonight, is that needs to be the goal every single day, to be the best player on the field. Every single training session, every single game, that needs to be the goal of every player. I just don't think there's any other way to be excellent than be excellent every single day and put that sort of pressure on yourself to do so.